Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to Unboxing. This is the final unboxing of Season 7, but the first unboxing of 2019.
We got boxes.
See how that works?
Check it out.
We got a lot of boxes to get through.
Yeah.
And we're going to thank our donors, people who go to welcometothebasementshow.com and contribute. Make more rustling noises, please.
Sorry, I don't want to drop these. All right. I have wine down there.
Let's start off by opening a package. Why don't you go ahead and tear into that one?
All right.
All of this mail was picked up on December 7th, so if you sent mail after that, we'll open it up in the new year.
If you send us something Christmas related, we don't mind opening Christmas packages in January and February. Whatever is good for us. It's Christmas every day in the basement. This is from Alexander Hawk in Andover, Massachusetts. It's 2 DVDs. Tom Cruise is Jack Reacher in Never Going Back. I believe this is the second Jack Reacher movie.
Oh, they did make another one?
I guess they.
Oh, wow.
And then, oh good lord, Dolph Lundgren in The Name of the King 2, Two Worlds. There's a sequel.
Is that a UA Bowl?
Yes, it is. He's a modern-day warrior who travels back through time.
And now some of our donors. Generous people who went to the website and donated. Luke, Michael, Martha, Andrea, David, Abraham, Eric, Philip, Thomas, Anton, Robert, Brian, Kieran, Grant, Stephanie, Catherine, Laura, Thomas, B.A., Mikey D., Chris, Kai, Maurizio, Sean, Patches, Kendall, and Fox, who says, a haiku, I cannot deny that Craig is a sexy bitch. Yes, I must paint you.
Now, if you really want to paint me, you'll have to get the wife's okay.
The rest of our donors later in the show.
The wife is a term that's not appreciated by women.
Yeah.
Comes out of my mouth too fast sometimes.
Here is a postcard from Gooseberry Falls State Park. It's from David, who says, comedian Jonah Ray once theorized that anyone's favorite movie is probably one they first saw around age 13. Do either of you have a film from that early adolescent age that has a permanent residence in your heart?
Most of my favorite movies came later when I was between 17 and 20.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Brazil, Miller's Crossing,
Yeah.
Blue Velvet. That's when I saw all of these movies.
That's the age I think both of us started choosing movies rather than having movies just come on or be chosen for us.
Oh, I tried to do it without looking.
And we've got a Ramones postcard here from Sander, or the Sander family.
We're a Sander family. We're a Sander family.
Seen it, Rock and Roll High School. If so, thoughts. If not, what? I've seen it.
I've seen it too. And speaking of movies from my early adolescence, I love that movie.
We've got a letter here from Jason Tucker, Esquire.
Esquire.
That means he's an attorney.
My wife's an Esquire.
Jason has a puzzle for us to solve. He needs our help identifying a movie from cable in the 1980s. The movie centered around a young man whose father was a scientist. The scientist discovered a portal into another dimension and was captured there by some sort of warlord. The son befriends one of the locals after he teleports into that dimension, maybe with friends. His mission is to find his father and bring him home. Does that ring a bell? Other details. The son has 3 small explosive red balls, like cherry bombs. He also wears an electronic watch with an alarm that plays Dixie.
You're stumping the band here.
I can't tell you what movie this is, but somewhere deep in the back of my brain, it's ringing a bell. Got 2 more envelopes to open up
Thank
here.
you. This is a Christmas card from Z, whoever that might be. It's from Los Angeles. It might be Zorro. I believe he was a Californian. Just says, welcome to the basement. Wishing you a fun and festive holiday season.
This is a letter from Clayton in Delaware, Ohio. This comes courtesy of his Aunt Karen. Clayton has autism, and he's a fan of the show. Movies are his passion. He has several recommendations for the show, movies he's recommending, and also questions for us.
Oh.
I will read these at a later time, and we will possibly address them at certain points on the show.
Thank you, Clayton. I hope you're having a great day.
The Loved One. A Christmas Story. I think we talked about most of these. Claudio and Ryan have sent us a lot of packages. This is the last one.
This is from Grant in Panorama City, California. I try to get a wide array of interesting movies to fill out your collections. Oh, Matt.
Nice.
Short Circuit 2, sequel to one of your least favorite movies. Strings.
Oh, I've heard of this.
You have?
Yeah, it's marionettes.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
It looked lame, and then now I see that it looks really, really awesome.
Our friend Bill told me about that movie. He
Bill
really
loves
likes it.
Race, which just seems to have people in it. I don't see cars or anything on the cover. This is a movie I've been meaning to watch again because I don't remember if it's good or bad. Streets of Fire, starring Michael Pare, Rick Moranis, and Diane Lane.
Rick Moranis is in that. I don't remember that.
Right.
I can dream about you. You know how to hold me just right.
It's one of those movies from the 1980s that's a soundstage movie. They build an entire city within a soundstage.
Yeah.
It was somewhat popular for a couple of years, and then they realized we're throwing away all of our money.
Claudia Orion says, I got these postcards for my goddaughters, but the pack came with 100. That's what I've been getting.
That
so
explains.
many of these. They've been coming in handy. You're probably already reserving parking spaces with this sign.
Oh.
Metal sign. And now we answer viewer questions. I believe Craig is going to answer one from Clayton, whose letter we just received today.
What do you think is the worst movie casting choice in your opinion?
Michael Shannon in Pottersville.
I've only had a couple seconds to think about this one, but the mind goes straight to Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Hey, if you're going to have a stereotypical Japanese landlord, hire a stereotypical Japanese human being. And it's also bad enough that it makes me not want to revisit that movie.
Yeah. There's a lot about that movie that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Vish Tank. Right. That's a funny name.
We're thinking about getting a Vish tank for my son. Once he's old enough to feed them.
With many tropical fish in it.
Yes.
Does Tona get to watch the movie? Of course Tona gets to watch the movie. She's sitting right there while we're watching it. The bigger question is, does Tona choose to watch the movie? And more often than not, she does not. I think the last movie that we watched on the show that really drew her in was Let the Right One In.
Yeah.
She really got into that one.
They're not all movies that I would be watching if I wasn't required to.
Now is the time in the show when we pick an episode from our back catalog to recommend to you to check out for the first time or to revisit. You recently recommended The Mummy, which was one of last year's Halloween movies. I'm going to recommend the other one, The Omen. The main reason I'm recommending it is for the little bit at the end during the credits that I like to call The Agency.
The Agency?
It's the only time I've ever done that, where I've put together a silly collage. Except, of course, for the time during the episode number 1 where I edit you to sound like a gibbering fool.
That's right. And I came back for episode 2 anyway.
So this is from Matthew in Quincy, Mass. He has written us a letter, included some fan art. He says he recently rewatched Hail Caesar and found the Channing Tatum character to be infinitely funnier due to your comments during a review of Battleship Potemkin, which features an actor who is a dead ringer for Channing Tatum.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Matt Sloan as Fitzcarraldo. I want my opera house!
Opera house!
Craig Johnson as Heathcliff. Faster! Faster!
See? Just like me.
And he's also given us some DVDs. We are rolling deep in movies. Mark Wahlberg, Lone Survivor.
Lone survivor, solitary survivor.
Mark Wahlberg, Deepwater Horizon.
I see a theme developing.
Mark Wahlberg in Patriots Day.
This is from Austin in Brantford, Ontario. He sends us 3 postcards. If you're wondering what Brantford looks like, this is it from above. This is a house there. This is an opera house there. And this is the train station. The first thing you see when you get into town. Or the last thing you see before being hit by a train. Not so easy, is it? Then he sends us one of these too. Card. It's a dove being beset by a bunch of ornaments. This guy wrote about us in a student magazine that his class produced on his final semester at university. So we're big somewhere in Ontario. He's always wanted to write us and send us his regards. So what better opportunity than Christmas? Sending us 2 gifts. One is a bit of a gag that he hopes coaxes a laugh out of you. And another is a Christmas album by a Canadian musician.
Canadian musician, I wonder if it's Bruce Cockburn.
I think it's going to be Gordon Lightfoot.
I'll bet this is a DVD.
I bet it's a football.
Let's see if it coaxes a laugh. Oh, yeah.
It coaxes a laugh.
It's the Star Wars Holiday Special. Featuring your favorite Star Wars characters, plus Lumpy and Itchy, the Wookiees.
And B. Arthur. Huxley Workman. Not who we called. Neither Bruce nor Gordon. Has a song called Learn How to Knit. Sounds very Canadian. Well, thank you, Austin.
And now the Ford Report. My quest to watch 13 films by legendary grizzled filmmaker John Ford in 2018 has concluded. And this is the final report.
Yeah!
I said that I would take this opportunity to look back on the films that I've watched and give sort of a summary, but Looking back on them, I find that I don't really have anything more to say. I've said everything I need to. Watching the films for the Ford Report this year has been a rewarding experience. It's always a good idea to dive into the filmography of John Ford. And now the rest of our donors. Robert, Rebecca, Jenny, John, Graham, Christopher, Francesco, Jonathan, Andrew, Paul, Corey, Danielle, Brian, Kelly Illustrations, Eden, Jared, Austin, Bridget, Grace, Tabitha, Tito, William, Brandon, and Frank, who asks a question. Is Michael Bay an auteur director? However you feel about his movies, you can't deny that his directing style is unique in his borderline melodramatic dialogue and his obsession with pyrotechnics. Well, the Criterion Collection seems to think so, and I generally tend to trust their judgment.
And David Zhao, who created every frame a painting, there's a whole thing on Michael Bay and shows how vibrant and brilliant his films are, even if they're not of the highest quality. He is a fine example of how you can make an amazing movie without making a good movie.
We've got just 2 more packages to open, and they're big ones, so let's get to it. Oh, this is from Therese in Australia. Hi, Therese. Hi, Lexi. Hi, Cocky.
Hello, Australia. Ooh.
What do you got in that big box?
Well, this is from Seychelles in Vancouver, British Columbia. My favorite Vancouver. Sorry, Washington. A postcard of Gary Cooper. To the good people of Blame Society, I've had a strange year. Finding your channel was a wonderful stroke of luck. Thanks for all the fun. Stay gangsta, Seychelles. Brandon Flowers' second solo album, The Desired Effect. The desired effect of his first solo album was getting offered the second.
Oh, from the Killers.
Oh, okay. Watch out, household catnip-infused kitty playmat. There, I'm sending this your way, Tona.
Okay.
This is actually for Tona. Who Built That Modern House by Didier Corneille.
That's for you.
This is a book about architecture.
This is for me, the movie misquote game. Wasn't sure what to get you. It was this or finger puppets. I like movie quotes.
And thank you so much, Seychelles, for these beautiful porcelain earrings from an artist in Vancouver, BC.
Huh. That's a big box of gifts.
Yes.
Here's another one. Welcome to the Basement has ruined my life, in a good way.
We aim to ruin.
Her son made her binge watch our show a few years ago. She got addicted to our show, and then she started watching the top 1,000 films of all time from an aggregated critics website. I can't read this whole letter, but she says some very nice things about the show. She's got 2 questions. I'm going to put those on our questions list, and we'll be answering those in the new year. This is a very sweet letter. Thank you, Therese. And, of course, here we have a bag of black licorice. You know who that's for.
Not me.
It's for Tona.
Oh.
And there is a DVD here, Brand New Day. Brand New Day.
That's spelled in a funny way.
I've sent along Brand New Day to add your Australian movie collection. It's in licorice for Tona. Thank you.
Check it out. It's a glass house. The Farnsworth House down in Illinois. Never been there, even though it's only like 3 hours away from here. Mies van der Rohe, if you can't remember.
This is for Craig.
Excellent. It's another Australian book for the little person in my life. Diary of a Wombat. International bestseller, so I guess it plays well outside of Australia. Thank you.
Cool.
An inflatable pool, some buttons, and these 2 exchanges with my young adult children. That is an inflatable pool, all the way from Australia. Looks like I'm going to need to work on my lung capacity to blow this up. Wow, they're buttons.
Buttons.
I'm going to have to get into sewing. These are very pretty stuff there. Buttons. Yeah, people get weird about online TV shows. And then she says, is this about me buying books for Craig's son? Pause. Yes, that's weird.
It's not weird.
Me, tell a story of Welcome to the Basement episodes about pools full of buttons. So I bought an inflatable pool and some buttons, and I'm sending it to him. If I work hard enough, I may yet scale to the mighty heights of Welcome to the Basement alpha fan, T.A. Epley. Imogen says, that is a very strange life goal. Me, don't judge me. T.A. can't stay on top forever. Keep going. Keep going, our little Australian mate. Oh, there are also some postcards in here. Jack Howe, shearing legend, shearing a sheep in statue form. Nicely. The Black Stump. This is a 3D postcard. I'm just going to tell you from previous experience, you have to watch out for these. They come at you. This is in Australia, birds. Good job. And then these are fish.
We've thanked the donors. We've unboxed the boxes. What a way to start 2019. You can see the first episode of our Season 8 on February 1st. We look forward to it, and we will see you then, and now watch this.